Preparing now to stream live. Okay, so welcome everyone as you're signing on to the Mindfulness at Lunch session. Welcome. And it's lovely to be able to be of service to you again and to engage you at this moment in time as the world around us continues to change in ways that catch us all by surprise every day, and in fact, even every moment. So, how do we therefore stay centered? How do we therefore stay purposeful in how we conduct our life from day to day in every moment? So, welcome. I'd like to hear from you how you're feeling at the moment, and let me know if there are any specific questions or comments that you may have based on previous sessions that you have tuned into, and any particular topic you'd like me to cover. Please give me your feedback right now using the chat button at the bottom or the Q&A button. So you have a choice. Please let me hear from you. Thank you for sharing your comments with me as I'm now tuning in onto Facebook as well to read any of the comments that might be posted on Facebook. One of the comments here is, it's a busy day with latest announcements in Malaysia, how to slow down in midst of anxiety. Thank you for that. And another comment here is, I'm concerned about how the Malaysia lockdown will affect my partner's business. Yes. So before I answer that, there are some more comments coming in. Feeling okay, but when I see people panic, I'm trying hard not to panic. Hi, my daughter is highly stressed with school. How can I help her with mindfulness? Wonderful. These are all really good comments and questions. So decisions are going to be taken by various authorities and in different countries. And because we're such a globally connected country, we will be affected in many ways, even just by hearing the news. Wow, this is happening. And be aware of how the mind reacts to all these information that's coming in, and to use mindfulness to create that space between what we're hearing, what we're seeing, and what is happening in our mind. Be aware that there's all these things going on outside, but what is the experience that's going on in our mind and body that's created by the thoughts? By having this awareness, then we can start to let go of some of these thoughts that are not helpful. That could be even causing ourselves to have this sense of panic, this FOMO, as I've learned from listening to other people talk about fear. FOMO stands for fear of missing out. So to be able to let go of these thoughts of, wow, what about me? Am I going to miss out? Am I going to be in trouble if I don't do what they do? Be aware of these thoughts that are going on and to let it go. There has been assurance from our government that there is enough food stockpile. There's nothing to be a cause for us to overreact. And certainly, we don't want to be eating Maggi noodles every day. So trust. Trust is a really important foundational attitude that we need to embody. Trust that our government has been very prepared for something like this to happen. Let the fear go. After all, based on the food that we have, we can survive on eating half the portions because most of us are putting on weight. So don't panic. Be aware that the panic is caused by this mind that is untamed, untrained. And when there's a lack of calmness, this mind can go a bit crazy. Your daughter is highly stressed with school. Perhaps it's good to deconstruct on what it means by highly stressed with school. There are so many components of school. It's like someone saying, I'm highly stressed by work. Which components of work? Deconstruct it. In a given day, we do so many different tasks, respond to so many different people based on their requests or demands. So, which is the encounter that's causing us to be stressed? And to then reflect on that experience. What are the thoughts, judgments that are causing us to feel stressed? Usually it has to do with, oh, I don't like that. Oh, that's too much. Oh, this is ridiculous. Oh, this is not fair. This is wrong. Be aware, it is usually these judgments that is the cause of our stress. Not so much of what is being said to us. Because we can be two people standing side by side and listening to one statement, the same statement. One person would be, oh yeah, whatever, and let it go, let it pass. Another one could be reacting, oh, that's offensive. How can he say that? That's not a good thing to say. That's not right. That's not fair. And now two people listening to the same statement. One person is cool, chilled, and the other one is all worked up. And you see it in families, you see it in discussions, how some people overreact, as we call it. It is because of how their minds are reacting to that one statement. So deconstruct it. How do we react to that one event, to that piece of information? Notice that a piece of information may have already been published on an app or in the newspaper or on the website, but when you don't know about it, there's no effect. So the effect is not actually the information, it's how we react to the information. So in the mindfulness practice is to reduce this reaction. Instead, is to be able to respond and say, so this is what's happening. Now, how does it affect me? Maybe it doesn't really affect me directly. Oh, maybe it affects me in this way. So how do I now choose my options, my next steps, and focus on that? Okay. So I hope this also answers to the question is what is the best way to stay positive? Is to focus on our choices, our options, our next steps, and choose the steps or options that will give us a better sense of, yeah, we're not going to allow ourselves to be mentally feeling anguished. Instead, it's like, okay, we can be more accepting of what we can't control. Because there's no point making all sorts of judgment. Instead, is to say, okay, so this has happened. What are our options and choices? And focus on that instead. So there's somebody here who says that you're feeling anxiety because there are people who aren't concerned about the situation. Well, I'm not too concerned about the situation because I just focus on what I can do. Keep my hands clean, stay away from crowded places, do social distancing, and there's no need to be over concerned about anything else. For example, my son is now studying in the UK, and he has been informed that the university has encouraged all the students to return home. And that means that he will be flying home to Singapore. Am I concerned? No. What's there to be concerned? There's nothing I can do about it. He's going to be coming home, so I can look on the positive side that, hey, he's going to be home and he can still continue with his studies because they're all now going to be pushing all the lessons online. No university would want their students to be set back in their pursuit of education. So trust the university, give them time and space to make the necessary adjustments. Trust them that they're doing this in the welfare of the students, the staff, to make it safe as possible for everyone to continue their education. So there's no need to be overly concerned or even concerned. Instead, is to look at the positives of whatever's happening. Then our anxiety will subside. How can you stop feeling anxious or fearful when you're around people or in crowded places? If you don't have a choice, just focus on being present, dropping into your body, noticing your breath, and focus on your breathing. This is to stop the mind playing on you. Oh, the mind go, there's so many people. What if somebody here has coronavirus? What if they infect me? That's just all the mind. That's the mind causing you to worry. That is why mindfulness now is such an important practice for people to embrace, because it reduces our own anxiety. The fear comes from our monkey mind generating thoughts that are negative. If you can find a place, a spot that you can get away from the crowd, do that. But if you have no choice, stay calm. And if you do come across somebody who has a possible potential of infecting you, staying calm will help your immune system to be able to respond better. After all, we can't be isolating ourselves to the point that we're not doing anything, we're not going anywhere. And if you are healthy, you're not a vulnerable group, a person in the vulnerable group. Basically, you are 60 and above and you have other illnesses, relax. And if you do have other illnesses, chronic diseases, then it is a good idea to stay away from crowded places. Okay, so there's somebody here who mentioned that your daughter is also coming from London, was concerned about her well-being. Well, how does that help? She's going to be getting on the plane, and when she comes back, she will be having a 14-day stay home notice. And if she does get infected, or in the case of my son getting infected, well, they have the best care here. So there's no need to think about it. Live this moment. Be open to your own experience as it unfolds. How can we not worry when family, friends continue to partake in large gathering and overseas travel? Well, it's their choice. Respect it, accept it. They're making their own choices. I was still planning to go to the UK next month for my course. And I would still go if there's no lockdown or restriction, because I believe in continuing to live. We cannot live in fear. And if I get infected, well, I'll get over it. I believe that my immune system is going to be strong enough to respond to it. And if I get it and I get over it, well, then I have the immunity for life. No difference from dengue. We live in Singapore, there's so many mosquitoes, we could still get dengue. Maybe that might even be a higher chance of getting dengue than coronavirus. But we have to continue living. If we have so much fear about everything, then our life will be very miserable. All right, so now let's do some practices. And thank you for all your comments, and I will address the Malaysia lockdown question or comment later on. Okay, so let's take 3 deep breaths. And now focusing on our shoulders. And take a deep breath, rotate our shoulders. And now change direction. Good. Now turning the head to the right and to the left. Dropping our ear to the shoulder and rotate. Change direction. And coming back to the center. And now dropping into the breath. Notice where your beautiful breath is. And to be reminded, as you notice your breathing, observe your breath. You don't have to do the breathing. Your body knows how to breathe. As we observe this beautiful breath going through our nostrils into our lungs, be reminded that as long as we can breathe, there's more right than wrong. And we're alive. And we can feel our breath. And even if we are intubated, we should be grateful that we can still breathe. And if you're not intubated, feel the joy of being able to breathe on your own. And as you're observing the breath, notice thoughts that may arise in your mind. And just observe these thoughts without being pulled away by these thoughts or having a conversation or engaging the thoughts in any way. Just be aware of these thoughts. By observing the thoughts, instead of being sucked in by the thoughts, we create the space to be able to observe the thoughts that bring about anxiety, feeling fear, or triggering anger, frustration, sadness. And with this space between us and the thoughts, helps to give us a choice on how we respond to these thoughts when we finish this practice. So now in the practice, there's no need to respond because we don't need to act on them now. And it's also a practice in itself to not be controlled by thoughts, not to be obsessed by thoughts. Instead, we have a choice to just observe our breath and to create that space to be able to let go of these thoughts by just shifting our focus back to the breath. then we're no longer enslaved by thoughts, especially thoughts that are causing you to worry, to be anxious, to be angry. So we respect that these thoughts arise, in creating that space. We're no longer ruled by these thoughts. And just let these thoughts pass by like clouds in the sky. And this is how we regain being centered, grounded, and in control. That we're able to stay calm, regaining our sanity from being swept away by thoughts that fuel a negative emotion. And in this moment, if you notice a sensation in your body, whether it's a tingling sensation, tension, pain, breathe kindness into that space. There's no need to be alarmed by any of the sensation. Again, feeling alarmed is thoughts of judgment. Like, oh my goodness, why is there pain there? Instead, it's just to breathe kindness into that space. Breathing relaxation into the area. Breathing out tension. Much of our aches and pain come from our muscles tightening up. So when you breathe into it, the muscles in the area start to relax. And you can come back to the breath at any time and just focus on the sensation of breathing. So be aware of how you feel now. If your mind is still very busy, just accept that it's busy and just watch the busy thoughts going through your mind without being sucked into them. It's like you're standing at a junction and you see so many people crossing from one side of the junction to another. And you are just standing there still, watching the people. You can be still calm while these people are all scrambling around the junction. But you don't need to be the one scrambling with them. You are standing still at the junction, watching all these people crossing, running, but you are still. So same with this practice. You may see all these thoughts circling in your mind, and you're just the observer. So you can still be still, despite all these thoughts running around in your mind. And just observe. See what happens. And just be aware of your breath. Appreciate this beautiful breath that you have. Without this breath, our life will come to an end. And when the day comes, our life comes to an end. And there's nothing else to be concerned about. Nothing to worry about. Because we no longer exist. So it's also a good reminder of the impermanence of life. That we're only here for a period of time. And we have no idea how long that period is. So live in the present. Welcoming every experience. And with this mindset, we would have less fears and more enjoyment of whatever life offers us in this moment. And now focusing on 3 more beautiful breaths. And open your eyes at the end of the 3rd breath and smile. Okay, how does everyone feel right now? Are you still feeling panicky? Are you still feeling anxious? Or are you still feeling tense? Or are you now calmer? More relaxed? How do you feel? Please type your comments and let me know. And I'll also check the Facebook comments to see if there are anyone who has given some comments there. Right. I can see some messages coming in now. Thank you so much for your feedback. It gives me a sense that you are out there and you are following and you're listening. So this is really helpful for me to know. Okay. One of you said, still tense, trying hard to relax. Please don't try hard to relax. Trying hard is not going to help you to relax. Letting go and just accepting, oh, my body's tense. Oh, okay, my body's tense. It's okay. Let it be tense. That's how you relax. If you're tense and you go, I want to relax, I want to relax, relax. That's not going to happen. You're just going to make yourself more tense. So just accept the tension in the body. And by accepting the tension that's in the body, that itself helps it to relax. And some of you have said, yep, feeling calm, much calmer than when we first started. I was disturbed by WhatsApp beeping. Sorry, it's okay. We don't hear it from you. Just turn it off. So calm, it's good. I'm supposed to go to Eastern Europe, but my agent just called to tell me the tour is canceled. Wonderful. So you don't even have to make the decision. It's made for you. All you need to do now is to accept. You're not going. Focus on what other opportunities that you have now in Singapore that you can spend with your loved ones. I'm grateful that SIA is waiving fees to reschedule flights. Yes, they are. So there is benefit in always flying premium airlines. That is always my take. I feel safer not traveling these 2 months. Great. Thank you much, Karma. As a healthcare worker, it's been highly stressful, but we trust the system that we will get through this. Absolutely. Humanity has always got through every crisis, every rough patch in life. So we're going to get over this. Zoom works well for such sessions. Yes, thank you. It takes some practice to focus on the breath. Yes, because it's about getting the mind used to the breath. Because usually we take the breath for granted. Our mind is so distracted and obsessed with things that it has become habitual. So now if we're training the mind to be more focused, to be more aware of the breath, it will take some time. So be patient. Changing habits require patience. You have become a worrier, if you are one, because of your habit of worrying, because you've been doing a lot of worrying. So now you become a habitual worrier. So in order to stop worrying, it will take some time for you to let go, practicing letting go of those thoughts. Then you will start to shift yourself from being a worrier to a non-worrier. I'm not a worrier, but it didn't come naturally. I just practice. And then I become a non-worrier. It's school holiday week. I've got my 12-year-old and 6-year-old to join the session, challenging for them to stay focused. Absolutely. Even adults finding it challenging to stay focused. More so with a 12 and a 6-year-old because their brain are not fully developed. They have a prefrontal cortex that will only be fully developed by the age of 25. So it will take time for them to do this practice. I would suggest that you get the book that has a CD that's more tailored to children. It's called Sitting Like a Frog. And we have copies here at the Brown Center Novena. So if you'd like to pop down here to pick up a copy, that would be much more targeted at children. And someone said, I feel so relaxed, almost fell asleep. Great. Another comment here is, I like the illusion of control very much, but this COVID situation is a reminder that a lot of happens in our life outside of control. Yes. So whatever we can't control, let it be. Like there's all these people in our lives, we can't control them. Let them be. Focus on what is it that we can be in control of. Sometimes even our mind is not within our control. Instead, is to be able to accept this moment, whatever arises. This acceptance actually gives ourselves a greater sense of control. When we can't accept, then what we have is a struggle that is in our mind. Because whatever is going on around us is going to continue. But when we can sit back, accept that these things are happening, then we start to make choices, focusing on our options. Then we are more in control. There's a question here. Do you have classes at Brown Center where I can bring my daughter? I am going to be starting the course for students on the 28th of March. This was for the group that the classes were suspended. So if you'd like to join in, please write to info@brahmcenter.com and we'll see how we can register your child. Question here is, how does acceptance give ourselves a greater sense of control? I hope I've just answered that by not fighting with thoughts. Because by accepting whatever is happening, then we focus on what is it that we can do. And that's what's important. Okay, great. There's a question here under the Q&A session. Can a major depressive disorder meditation help? I think your question is, can meditation help with depressive disorder? Absolutely. There is a program that's called Mindfulness-Based Cognitive Therapy that is actually targeted at helping people to overcome depressive disorder by being aware of the thoughts that are causing it, and for us to start shifting, reframing how we think, how we perceive, and how we respond to things and situations is what can help us to overcome depressive disorder. If you look or if you go and watch a session that I did probably almost 2 weeks ago, I talked about my personal journey out of depression. So that might also give you some insight as to how I applied mindfulness to journey out of depression. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. Right. Are there physical classes still held at Brown Center? Yes, at McPherson primarily, no longer at the Brown Center Novena at Rinsel Hospital, because being in a hospital building, they have disallowed us from conducting classes here. So in fact, this has led us to be moving out of Rinsel Hospital building in May. Our new center in Tampines will be opening or will be available to us to move in by mid-May, and we'll be opening the doors to the public by end of June. So do check our updates on the website or on the Facebook page. Our Brown Center Facebook page usually gives quite up-to-date information. So I would like to spend a few minutes on talking about living a purposeful life. So coming back to our objective in living, our objective of making our life meaningful. And that's by living a life that is purposeful. And that means whatever we do, whatever we say, is useful to other people. So if we're going to say something that causes other people to have more worry, more doubt, more angst, increased anxiety, that is not useful. That is just going to make someone's life more miserable. Instead, is to be a calming agent. So we listen to their fears, to their anxiety, and say, okay, so what are your options? Asking them a question, what are your options, helps them to focus on moving forward. That's useful. But adding to the lamenting or complaints, that's not useful. So for example, Malaysia is having a lockdown, like a couple of you had mentioned earlier on. Yes, that's not going to change even if we complain about it or we think that decision is not a great one. There's no point, is it? Debating it. Instead is, okay, is there anything we need to do about the situation? Do we need to help someone come to Singapore before the lockdown is effected tonight? I have relatives in Malaysia, but they're not going to come to Singapore. They have their lives there, and they're going to be locked down there. That's fine. So I accept. Do I worry about them? No, because how's worrying going to help? If they like to chat with me, I'm very happy to give them my time. And if there's any support that they need, I can offer what I can. And that's it. There's no need to worry about it because all that worrying is not going to change one bit what is going on in Malaysia or anywhere else in the world for that matter. So conserve our energy and focus on what we can do here and for the people around us. That's a much better way of expending our energy. Worrying uses energy, but it's of no positive consequences. In fact, worrying sometimes can even be annoying and exhausting for the people that you're worrying about. So let go of these thoughts, of all the possible things that can go wrong. It's a waste of your energy. It is not useful. Worrying about your kids, it's not useful. Focusing on how we can support them, how we can help them deconstruct the problem. And do you realize most of the time what we call a problem, it's here. It's created by this mind. Because what is the problem? Think about it. You can still get to work. You can wake up in the morning. You can feed yourself. You can clothe yourself. So what is the real problem? Maybe there is none, unless we create one in our head. If we have an issue and we need to resolve that issue, go ahead and just do it. If there's an issue that is beyond us to resolve, accept it. Now, you may say, that's easier said than done. Really? How is worrying about something easier than accepting? Through our acceptance, we make peace with what we can't change. And we basically will have more peace of mind. And we can become the calming effect for others. Because when we get obsessive, we get anxious, and all these thoughts about all the things that could go wrong, it's just draining our energy and draining for other people. So always focus on how we can be useful to others. Reach out to someone and say, hey, how can I help you? Is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything that I can assist you with? That is being positive. Instead of thinking about what is it that I want, the I. What can life do for me? What I want out of life? That is not useful. Instead, what can I do and add value to the lives of the people around me? That is useful. What is it that I can give? Focus on that. That is useful. That is how we live a purposeful life. And trust me, your happiness level will go up. Because this is what my life is about. I give, like giving these sessions. I don't expect anything in return from you. And it gives me so much joy and happiness. So when classes started to shut down because we couldn't conduct it, and I can't meet so many people anymore, I thought, what can I do? What can I do that will be useful? And this is how this mindfulness at lunch session has come about. So when you can start looking out how you can help others, you will add meaning to their lives. And your life will become so much more meaningful. And your level of happiness just goes up. Okay, so I hope this little talk helps you to focus your mind instead of worrying. What is it that you can do to help others? Then your life will become purposeful. Any questions? I welcome your comments as well. And those of you who are new to this session, we will be closing the session with another practice. Thank you for the comment. It's great to have this online session. It really helps, and I'm more at ease now. Thanks. Another comment is thanks for sharing a purposeful life. Reminds me to be focused. Yes, thank you. Thanks for being there. Thank you. No problem. So, as long as I live, I intend to serve. Because as long as I'm able to serve and give, to me, then there's meaning in living. There's another question in the Q&A segment. Easy to help others, but difficult to help someone if you don't like, for example, your ex-spouse. How do you do it? I have an ex-spouse. I just focus on what is it that I can do that will still add value to his life. And this is where we need to put judgments aside that, oh, he's unfair to me, he wasn't kind to me, he wasn't being nice to me. Put all those judgments aside. They are all in the past. Whatever has happened. So accept that they were just events and experiences that we can gain from them by looking at what is it that we can learn that makes us a better person. And if we could be kind to our ex-spouse before, why can't we be kind to them now? After all, they're still humans. They were once people that we loved very dearly and wanted to spend our lives with. So look at their positives. They still have lots of positives. So don't focus on the negatives. Look at the positives. And you can be giving much more. And if you have children, that's really important for our kids to see that there's still harmony and kindness between their parents. So I hope that helps you. A comment here is, like the idea of how I can help to drive purpose rather than looking for a big purpose. Yeah, a waste of time to look for a big purpose unless you're into building a spacecraft or something that is, such a big idea. Focus on the little things that we can do for other people in our lives. We live with so many people. Make their lives better by our presence. Are there any online resources for warriors to learn not to be worried? It's a journey. It's not like it's a on-off switch or a tablet that you can take. Just start now. Be aware, first of all, what those thoughts are causing you to feel anxious, and practice letting them go without acting on them. Dropping back into your breath each time. Another comment here is, thank you for giving your time and effort to do this lunchtime mindfulness with us. You are most welcome. It has been very enriching for me, and it has also given me a greater sense of purpose, even though it eats into my lunchtime. So people who still want to eat lunch with me will now just have to meet me at 1:45 for lunch. And that's okay. Okay, thank you for all your comments. Let's do a closing practice. Okay, so let's do this for 10 minutes. We'll do a quick body scan. So those of you who are still having a bit of tension, tightness in the body, this is a chance for you to relaxing the different parts of the body. So it's going to be a 5 to 10 minute practice. Okay, so close your eyes and let's take 3 beautiful deep breaths. And dropping your focus now into your feet. Feeling your toes, wriggling them. Feeling the footwear or the socks that you're wearing. And the sensations of your feet being covered by socks or your sandals or shoes. Relaxing your heels, your ankles, And then sliding up your legs, relaxing the calf muscles. Feel free to move your legs slightly to connect with your legs. Relax your shins, the knees. And if your hands are not placed on your lap, you may wish to do them now, placing your hands gently on your lap. And feel the weight of your hands against your thighs. And if your palms are placed downwards, you may even feel the heat from your palms that are now felt by the skin of your lap. Sense into the back of your thighs and notice the back of your thighs against the surface of the chair. Relax your thighs. Notice the bum on the seat and check that your body is balanced between the two sides of the bum. Adjust your body if necessary. Sense into your lower back and straighten up your lower back if you find your body slouching. And traverse up the spine and relaxing the muscles along both sides of the spine. Into your shoulder blades, the shoulders, and scanning down your upper arms, relaxing your biceps and triceps, to your elbows, down the forearms, into the wrists, the palms, the back of the hands, and fingers. And now shift your focus into your abdomen and breathe into your stomach area, breathing in the relaxation, relaxing all the tissues, the muscles, and around the stomach, your chest, the neck, moving your head side to side, front and back, or even rotating your head if you find any tension in your neck area. Relaxing the jaw, the lips, the nose. You may now notice the air going through your nostrils, the cheeks, the eyes, across the forehead, all over your scalp, dropping to the back of the neck, and into your breath. And observe your breathing, how your breath goes into your lungs, into your body, and breathing out, and the breathing in. Your body does that automatically. So just observe. When you're observing your breath, you may notice there's hardly any thoughts. And even the thoughts come, let them leave. And just focusing on hanging out with the beautiful breath. In the final moments of dying, one day we will all experience. It's just going to be breath and you. And we will be letting go of everything. So now, appreciate the breath that you have. It gives you time to be useful to others. So now focusing on 3 more beautiful breaths that you have. And open your eyes. Okay, so treasure this breath because it gives us time, and treasure the time by being useful to others. That's how we become positive. Add happiness and joy to other people's lives, and we'll get so much happiness and joy back. Be there for them, whether it's your kids, your spouse, your siblings, your parents, your colleagues, your bosses. Be useful to each person that we encounter. Then your life will become more and more purposeful. All right? Great. So thank you, everyone. And it's so lovely to be spending this time with you. Even though it's very virtual, I don't actually see your faces, but I know you're out there and I can sense all your appreciation with all these lovely comments that you're sending me. And even though you're on Facebook and you may not even be accessing this real time, please put your comments there as well. I would love to hear that you are indeed finding these sessions beneficial. Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. And don't forget to smile, even though you think I can't see you. Smile because it opens up your heart, and smile at the people around you, especially the people you live with. Okay? Bye.